let's remain standing as I call on Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Point Fortin District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches, to deliver the opening prayer.
Shall we bow our heads to prayer? Eternal Father and God, we ascribe praise and glory and honor to you this morning for bringing us to this place safely. We pray a special blessing upon all those who are officiating this morning, Alderman Clyde James, MPs Kennedy Richards Jr. and Steve McClatchy, Mr. Michael Kwamina, Chairman, Senator the Honorable Alison West, and Mr. Claude McCullough, Permanent Secretary. We pray, God, your blessing upon the proceedings today as we launch this important project. May your blessing be upon all the participants, all those who are viewing online, all those who are present. May your name be glorified today and praised. We pray with thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. We may be seated. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, members of the Cabinet, Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Kennedy Richards Jr., Mr. Claudel McKellar, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Administration, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Management and Staff of the Ministry, His Worship Alderman Clyde James, Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, Members of Council, CEO, Management and Staff of the Borough Corporation, former mayors and members of Council of the Borough, Mr. Reynold Ajuda Singh, Vice Chairman of Heritage Petroleum Company Limited, Directors, CEO, Management and Staff of Heritage Petroleum, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of the Board of UDICOT, and members of the Board, CEO, Management and Staff of UDICOT, SAS Marketing and General Contractors Limited, Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Point Fortin District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches, specially invited guests, members of the media, members of the national public viewing live on TTT, UDICOT and the Ministry's Facebook pages, and listening on I-95.5 FM and 91.1 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Mark-Andre Augustus. Welcome to the project launch for the Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Complex. First in our program, kindly welcome His Worship, Alderman Clyde James, Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, to bring us welcoming remarks.
Good morning. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister in Public Administration, members of Cabinet, the Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Kennedy Richards Jr. Also, we have the Member of Cabinet, Member of Parliament for Labrie, Mr. Steve McClatchy, former mayors, members of council, the CEO of the Point Fortin Borough Corporation, Mr. Commoner, the Chairman of Heritage Petroleum Company, Mr. Noel Garcia, the Chairman of UDICOT, Contractor SAS Marketing and Company Limited, Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here this morning to bring greetings on behalf of the Point Fortin Borough Corporation. Indeed, this project, which was initiated by our Member of Parliament, Mr. Kennedy Richards, is something that he has been working on for the past 4 years. And indeed, it's a pleasure to be here this morning to see his hard work come into fruition. Point Fortin has been started for having all the services carded in one particular area. And indeed, this initiative, using the old Petroleum building, which has a synonymous name, having been here for many years under the past leadership of Shell, Trintoc, and Petroleum. Indeed, we are happy to be here this morning to unveil this new project. And I know it's a stepping stone for bringing more good things to Point Fortin. I welcome you, and you enjoy the rest of today's proceedings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Clyde James. Let's now welcome to the podium the Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Kennedy Richards, Jr., to bring us the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. Allow me to recognize this morning Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, members of the Cabinet, and I also acknowledge our neighboring MP, Mr. Stephen McClatchy, His Worship the Mayor, Alderman Clyde James, Deputy Mayor, Mr. Kwesi Thomas, and members of Council, Mr. Claudel McKellar, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Administration, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Management and Staff of the Ministry. Allow me to also recognize Mr. Eric Keskula. Hi, did I have it correct? Right. The CEO of Heritage Petroleum and the Heritage Petroleum staff, former mayors, members of the Borough Corporation, CEO of the Borough Corporation, Mr. Michael Kwamena in his absence. Of course, I must mention him. I understand also the deputy chair is here. Allow me to also recognize Mr. Noel Garcia, the chairman of the board of UDICOT, the members of the board, CEO and management and staff of UDICOT, SAS Marketing and General Contractors Limited, Pastor Roy, which is my pastor, head of the Point Fortin SDA District Church, all specially invited guests, members of the media, and members of the viewing public. So, as the mayor would have said, today is indeed a special day. I wrote like 5 speeches and I tear them up, and today I decided that I'm speaking off the cuff. But I want to take you back to 2010, when my journey in politics began. I was just 23 years old at that point in time, and I remember meeting Mr. Clyde Paul, who was our then mayor, and you know, my thing at that point in time was that I am coming here to fix all the box drain and all the roads and all of that. You know, immediately I faced a rude awakening when he said, hey, he said vision before strategy. Initially, I didn't understand what he meant, but with the coaching over the years, I spent 2 terms with him and I learned quite a lot. And I understand now what vision is. You have a vision, and then you implement a strategy to achieve the vision. And sometimes you don't always use the same strategy. Sometimes you change the strategy, not the vision. So needless to say, during those first 2 terms on council, as you all know, Point Fortin has always been the mecca of sport and culture. And I always say that the culture of Point Fortin is sport. And I was the chairman of sport at that point in time, and I had the privilege of working with people like the likes of Leroy De Leon. And it's people who I only know of their greatness by thought. I was too young to actually experience them being the devastating players that they were on the football field. But needless to say, Point Fortin has a great heritage. And today we are here to usher in something that is going to change, bring a paradigm shift to the people of Point Fortin. A couple of years ago, I remember when my uncle passed, and I had to get his death certificate, and it was quite a run around. So, passed away, I had to go identify the body, got some documents from the hospital, then that takes me to the next building, next government building, and the next government building is down the road, and the next one is up the road, and the next one is back down the road. So it took me like 3 to 4 hours just in paperwork. And I'm saying to myself, why everything can't be in one space? You know, and the opportunity is ours today to be part of this commencement ceremony where we can bring the whole of Point Fortin and all of government service in one space. And I would like to immensely thank the Minister of Public Administration, because when I brought the project initially to her, she was like, excellent. I was expecting to get we don't have no money and hold back and, you know, the normal thing, because You know, we live in some difficult times, but she was very much pleased that she could head this project and bring this to the people of Point Fortin. And I'd like you, the people of Point Fortin, to give her a hearty round of applause. Also, I would like to thank the chairman of Heritage in his absence. I know if he could have been here, he would have been here. But if he was here, he would have told you that Kennedy is quite pestful at times. Because, you know, if I have a goal to achieve, I achieve that. I'm a pilot. So when we take off and we decide we're going to New York, it could have been thunderstorm, we're going around. But we reach in New York. You know, and he has always been somebody who is supportive. Sometimes, you know, you get a little rough and up, you say, oh God, Kennedy again, they're coming something again. But we're here to serve the people of Point Fortin. And service sometimes is a difficult thing, but I have the experience, people around me who guides, and you know, when you're down, they always push you to ensure that you achieve that goal. What this building is going to do for the people of Point Fortin is not just give you all of government services in one spot, but I'm hoping that it also helps to revive the local economy here in Point Fortin, because we will have a couple hundred people here who will be resident to this building, as well as I am hoping that when I'm going to Port of Spain in the morning and allow me to also recognize Minister Simon de Norberga. Please, hearty round of applause to him. Thank you for making the trip to Point Fortin. I know you enjoy the highway. Right, so as I was saying, I'm hoping that when I'm going to Port of Spain, that some of the people who are resident here and will take the bus early in the morning to get into Port of Spain for 6 to beat the traffic, would have also found a home in this building, which would mean that the government's plan for decentralization is actually taking root. Also in his absence, I would also like to thank the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. He has laid out his vision from day one, what we must do as members of his team. And even though we are in trying times where finances are concerned, we are going one project at a time, one foot in front of the other, and we are ensuring that we deliver for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Over the past couple of years, Point Fortin has been the beneficiary of some great projects. We have the highway now to Point Fortin. Even though it's not complete, it allows us to access and egress Point Fortin in a quick possible time. Presently, the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service is carrying out a project worth approximately $400 million in Chatham, where they are utilizing more of Petrochin's assets, which is 400 acres of land, to ensure that young people throughout Trinidad and Tobago could have a future in agriculture. And I'm pretty certain that everyone here understands and knows the benefit that we will have down the road where that is concerned. We are also reviving the Chatham Youth Camp. We are also reviving the NESC, which is National Energy Skills Center. So all of that has been coming to Point Fortin. I've made other projects, and even in the Southwestern Peninsula, we were playing for water for quite a while. And now, the Minister of Public Utilities has ensured that people who have not received water in over 15 years, they could turn their taps and see water in their taps. So we are seeing some vast improvements within the constituency of Point Fortin, and I think this project is going to add tremendously to those achievements. And I thank everyone who was involved in this, Mr. Garcia, especially Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT, because before I go anywhere, I tend to go by him first to see if the project could actually fly or fly, right? And it was February 2021 when we did our first walkthrough. And normally these things take 5-6 years after the initial concept to execute. But with our excellent minister who is pushing, Chairman Mr. Garcia, also Chairman Mr. Kwamena, and myself who moves plain speed, we were able to be at this commencement ceremony today. And we are hoping that this is going to finish before time so that by the end of the, putting some pressure, by the end of the year, hopefully, not sure what the final deadline is, but I'm hoping that we could finish this before time so that we could see in 2024 the benefits of this project, because this ceremony and us gathering here would mean nothing if we don't complete that on time and get people to actually see what it is about. You know, imagine getting your passport, ID card, driver's permit, birth paper, everything in one space. For all of you who file taxes, we have to go all the way to Princestown just to get it connected and have the ID number. So that should be a thing of the past. I believe that the only thing we should be leaving Point Fortin for is when they're ready to fly with Caribbean Airlines. Right? Without a doubt, I just like to say thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank the Prime Minister especially for ensuring that this happens for the people of Point Fortin. And allow me to also recognize that would have slipped me, the Deputy Chairman of Heritage, as well as Mr. Newton of Petroleum board. So thank you, and I do hope that we all work together, UDICOT and the Ministry of Public Administration. Even the people of Point Fortin has to be cooperative to ensure that this project comes out expeditiously and serves us well in the future. I thank you.
Thank you, Member of Parliament Kennedy Richards Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be entertained by Ms. Lois Lewis once more.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. So all of us know these words, the first few words of our national pledge. Today, I sing a song of encouragement for all of us, because this project would mean the beginning of something awesome again for the people of this area and our country. Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget spites and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now more than ever we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, let us build a nation together. Whoa. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have a regard. Forget all your differences and let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, let us build a nation together. I'm sure I don't have to spell them out. 'Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is putting in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, let us build a nation together. And the work never stops. This one is a special one from our Day visitors. And this one goes out to all the Trinbagonians who gone to live in a foreign land. It's time you come back home now and do something, instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come one and all. Oh, let us build a nation together. Yeah. I wonder if you could sing a little thing with me right now. It's not much. It's not hard. You ain't gonna try? All right, so all I need you to say is come. Let us build a nation together. Let's try it. I say come. Let us build a nation. Let us build a nation. Let us build a nation. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let us build a nation together. Let us build a nation. Thank you, everyone. Come, 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 come. Let us build a nation together. Let us build a nation. I say come, 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 come.
Thank you, Ms. Lois.
You're welcome.
Ms. Lois Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Reynal Ajuda Singh, Vice Chairman of Heritage Petroleum Company Limited, as he brings us remarks from Heritage.
Senator, the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, the Honorable Kennedy Richard, Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, other members of Parliament and Cabinet, His Worship the Mayor Alderman Clyde James, special invited guests, members of media, good morning. First, I must apologize for our chairman who is not unable to be here today, and I've been tasked with sending remarks on his behalf. I'm proud to stand here today at the project launch for the Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Complex. This initiative, which involves the handover of the former Trinidad Operation Administration building to the Ministry of Public Administration to house several sectors of government services, is one of many such projects that the Trinidad Petroleum Holding Company has undertaken in repurposing our non-operational assets while adding value to the sustainable development and giving back to the community and our country. Permit me to reflect a bit and to provide some context. Our energy sector is over 165 years old. Trinmar was one of 3 state companies to form part of the legacy company in 2000. This notable Trinmar Operation Administration Building, a structure which is 24 years old, has profitably served the oil and gas industry and by extension the country over the years. And I am sure it will continue to do so under the watchful supervision of the Ministry of Public Administration. As this historic building embarks on this transformative project, it will undergo significant repairs and renovation to ensure the building is fit for purpose and it is in line with the Ministry of Public Administration's strategic objective of modernizing and enhancing public service delivery. It is my understanding that this building will become a hub for government services, enabling citizens ease of access to public services, including TT Post, valuation, licensing, social, legal, and financial services. Employees will also benefit from modern service spaces, remote work hub, among other facilities for employees and clientele of the various ministries, divisions, and agencies that will be housed here. A bit to note, however, it's important to remember that Heritage Petroleum Company inherited a loan to the value of $11.9 billion, treaty dollars, from a legacy company. To date, Heritage has paid $7.5 billion in interest, principal, and withholding tax, which works out to an average of $1.4 billion a year in legacy debt. As part of our refinancing of this debt in 2022, TPHL and Heritage Petroleum Company secured the release from the lenders of direct and indirect liens on Petrotrin property and Heritage non-operational assets, all of which were previously pledged to this loan. This has now enabled us to repurpose these properties accordingly. Some of the rehabilitative and restorative projects that we have now completed include the refurbishment and outfitting of the former Augustus Long Hospital during the pandemic, and which has now been handed over to the Southwest Regional Health Authority in 2023. In a Pointe-à-Pitre bungalow has also been refurbished and outfitted for use by the Southwestern Regional Health Authority as a care facility for COVID-positive orphans during the pandemic. We overhauled and renovated a multi-story building in Clark Road, Pinal, and has it vested with the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services to be used as a transition home for female victims of domestic violence. The historical Palo Seco Velodrome is being rebuilt through a generous $26 million donation from Heritage. The beach camp facility in Palo Seco is also now vested with the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service for its youth in agricultural programs. We are currently finalizing the lease of a building formerly known as the Core Repository Building located in Forest Reserve, Faizabad, to be handed over to the Ministry of National Security for use as an immigration center. We have also partnered with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, and other state agencies, along with community-based groups and organizations to utilize our properties classified as non-operational assets. In addition to this, Heritage continues to support, uplift, and contribute to our communities and our country in line with our corporate social responsibility policy and the company's strategic objectives. Heritage suites of CSR programs contribute significantly cash investment supporting capacity building initiatives in our community. This year, as Point Fortin wraps up its Borough Day celebration, we are proud to have sponsored several activities, including the primary school's monologue, the science fair, and the health fair. We at Heritage recognize the significant and monumental role that we play in supporting our country, and more specifically within the communities that we operate. We continue to strive to be a source of pride in Trinidad and Tobago, contributing sustainably to developing our people, increasing productivity, and improving our operational excellence. As we graciously hand over this building, we are certain that these premises will continue to benefit the people of Point Fortin and environs and provide improved public service delivery to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair, Mr. Jodha Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome to the lectern the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, to deliver today's feature address.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Good morning, everyone. My cabinet colleagues, Minister McClatchy from the interesting region of Faizabad, Minister Dinobriga, thank you for being here. I know those of you who live north of the lighthouse think that this is deep south, so I appreciate your making the effort to come down. Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Kennedy Richards, Mr. Claudel McKellar, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Administration, and my Deputy Permanent Secretaries, His Worship Alderman Clyde James, Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, former mayors of the borough, the Deputy Chair of Heritage and members of the Board of Heritage, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of the Board of UDICOT, the CEO of SAS Marketing and General Contractors, our contractor for this project, Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Point Fortin District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches, specially invited guests, members of the media, members of the national public here and viewing on our various media, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to be here this morning for the project launch of the development of the Point Fortin Heritage Administration Complex. When we were finalizing arrangements for this, I said to my team that we needed to retain the connection to heritage, which is why this is the only admin complex so far that it does not just carry the name of the region plus the term admin complex. So we had to stick heritage in there because I think maintaining our history and the link is important. This landmark building will become a hub for the delivery of central government services to the people of Point Fortin and surrounding communities, like the communities represented by Minister McClatchy. As a proud daughter of South Trinidad, this milestone project is close to my heart. We all know this close-knit community is rich in natural resources, cultural diversity, and boundless talent, as aptly demonstrated by our entertainer this morning. Now, thanks to the generosity of the Heritage Petroleum Company Limited in making this building available to the government, the convenience and efficiency of a one-stop shop offering a range of social, registry, financial, and community services will become a reality for Point Fortin very shortly. The Ministry of Public Administration, through our Project Management Unit and the Property and Real Estate Services Division, will be working with UDICOT and SAS Marketing and Construction Services Limited to develop the Point Fortin Administrative Complex over the next few months, hopefully within budget, but certainly, and more importantly, within the time limit we have set. And I'm sure that your hardworking MP will continue to press me and his other parliamentary colleagues to deliver on that undertaking. Kennedy continues to work hard for Point Fortin. He drives and he pushes to get things done. We all know that Point Fortin has played an intrinsic role in the development of our country. It's a borough with a history of entrepreneurship, of pioneers who played a significant part in agriculture and energy sectors for generations. In the early 1900s, the discovery of oil led to a shift from an agricultural economy to an energy-based one. The rapid development of dwelling houses, pipelines, and oil tanks led to a mass migration, with the population growing almost exponentially. At times, the infrastructure struggled to keep pace. But today, we are here at this building, located close to the new highway, hospital, and fire station, all new, demonstrating our commitment to improving the quantity, quality, and efficiency of services to the burgesses of Point Fortin and environ. So we spoke to a couple of those burgesses to find out what they thought of our project. And Mr. Francis Bertrand, a former mayor of Port of Spain, who started his career at Trintoc as a manager working in this very building, his claim is that this is long overdue. Having worked in the energy sector for 25 years, he described the former admin building as the lifeblood of Point Fortin, the heart of the community. Mr. Bertrand welcomes the transformation into a hub for government services, sharing that the project will be greatly appreciated by the community. Similarly, Marilyn Ramnarayan Singh, a mother of two, appreciates the change that a one-stop shop will bring, as many people from Sangre Grande, Mayaro, and Pinal now travel easily along the highway to the borough for government services. At times, she said, they have challenges if, for instance, they need additional services on site, a justice of the peace, for instance. She also spoke of her son having to take a bus at 3:30 a.m. I struggle to imagine that, to travel to Port of Spain to work at one of the ministries, and welcomes the notion of remote working pods being housed at the center. Mrs. Ramnarayan Singh believes that this complex will make such a difference in the lives of the people of Point Fortin and surrounding areas. Located on the Guapo-Capdeville Road in close proximity to the city center, courts, hospital, and fire station, this three-story, 60,000 square foot complex will house modern government offices, recreational spaces, a food court, parking for over 100 cars, and multiple entrances that cater for the needs of the differently abled. Soon, in one centralized hub, visitors will be able to access registry, financial, social, and many other services. Employees will also have access to modern office spaces, remote work pods, and homework centers for their children. Visitors will also be able to enjoy the lush gardens. You can imagine it. We're not seeing it yet, but it will be here. And creative installations that pay tribute to the rich heritage of a community that has been so integral to our national development. As we saw in the recent celebrations for Borough Day, the spirit of the people of Point Fortin continues to thrive, and we trust that this spirit will turn this admin complex into a hive of activity, an impetus for growth of new business opportunities, as well as an example of the best that such a complex can do for the region in which it's placed. This is just one of the key initiatives which the Ministry of Public Admin is embarked. Briefly, some of our other major projects include another such admin center, this time in Arima, to deliver on our promise to bring government services closer to the citizens. We're doing that digitally, and we're doing that in physical spaces such as this. The rollout of an electronic human resource management platform to better manage the thousands of human resources in the public service. the significant expansion of training offerings to public servants to make and keep them more effective and efficient in serving your needs, and the creation of a whole-of-government document and asset storage facility to more efficiently manage government assets and reduce the need for storage space in high-cost offices and other buildings. In 2023, July, the ministry embarked on this journey, and I look forward to returning here in a few months during the calendar year 2024 to celebrate our arrival as we open the doors to this flagship facility, the Point Fortin Heritage Admin Complex. And your MP was just pointing out to me how auspicious a day this is to do this project launch, because it represents the 44th anniversary of Point Fortin as a borough. So I think it is worthy of note. So while the government of Trinidad and Tobago continues to support the burgesses of the people of Port Fortin and environs, and to deliver on our commitment to make life easier for you, I urge you to work with us to get this done and to work with us to get it working properly. So I now invite you to enjoy the official unveiling of the project with a short video presentation. I thank you.
Welcome to the Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Complex. Developed by the Ministry of Public Administration in collaboration with the Urban Development Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, this complex will become a centralized hub for government services for the people of Point Fortin. Thanks to the generosity of the Heritage Petroleum Company Limited in making this building available, the convenience and efficiency of a one-stop shop that offers a range of social, financial, and community services will become a reality in 2024. Located within walking distance of the city centre and strategically located close to the court, fire station, and healthcare services, this 3-story, 68,000 square foot flagship complex will house modernized ergonomic offices, parking for over 100 vehicles, and multiple entrances that cater to the needs of the differently abled. Visitors will also be able to enjoy creative installations that pay tribute to the rich heritage of a community that has been integral in our nation's development. Staff of the administrative complex will also have access to modern office spaces, remote work pods, and homework centers for their children. The Point Fortin Heritage Administrative Complex will join the pool of similar centers already in existence and that are envisioned for Trinidad and Tobago, bringing central government services closer to you. This complex reflects the commitment of the government of Trinidad and Tobago to improving public service delivery to all citizens.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Claudel McKellar, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Administration, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, members of Cabinet, Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Kennedy Richards Jr., Deputy Permanent Secretaries and Management and Staff of the Ministry of Public Administration, His Worship Alderman Clyde James, Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, members of Council, CEO, Management and Staff of the Borough Corporation, former mayors and members of Council of the Borough, Mr. Reynald Ajoda Singh, Vice Chairman, Heritage Petroleum, Management and Staff of Heritage Petroleum, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of the Board of UDCOT and members of the Board, CEO, Management and Staff of UDCOT, SAS Marketing and General Contractors Limited and its representatives, Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Point Fortin District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches, specially invited guests, members of the media, members of the National Public Viewing live on TTT, UDCOT, and the ministry's Facebook pages, and listening on I-95.5 and Talk City 91.5 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for joining everyone in this gathering today for the project launch for the development of the Point Fortin Administrative Complex. We at the Ministry of Public Administration, as the Minister has aptly said, are focused on developing key partnerships that will ensure the modernization of the public service and the improved delivery in government services to the public. Today's event would not have been possible without these working relationships, and it would be remiss of me if we did not acknowledge the various individuals and organizations who played a part in today's event. So please allow me to acknowledge the following. Senator the Honorable Alison West, Minister of Public Administration, for her astute leadership and vision with respect to this project. His Worship Alderman Clyde James, Mayor of the Borough of Point Fortin, members of Council, CEO, management, and staff of the Borough Corporation. Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Mr. Kennedy Richards, Jr., and his staff. We would have heard MP's passion and vision for this project. Mr. Reno Lajoda Singh, Vice Chairman of Heritage Petroleum, and by extension, the Chairman, Board and Management of Heritage, for their kind donation of the facility. Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of the Board of UDCOT, and members of the Board, CEO, Management, and staff of UDCOT. We look forward to the aggressive implementation of this project. Pastor Patrick Roy, head of the Point Fortin District of Seventh-day Adventists, for his warm exhortation this morning. Our talented entertainers from Point Fortin. We have on site Tassa drummers and a rhythm section, with whom you've heard earlier and you will hear again. Ms. Lois Lewis, for her beautiful rendition of the national anthem and her exhortation to us to work together to build our nation. The function crew and Eagle Boys Tassa. Our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Mark Andre Augustus. The Ministry of Public Administration's Executive Secretariat, Portfolio Management Office, and Corporate Communications Department, and Legal Services Department, and everybody at the Ministry of Public Administration who had a role to play in bringing us to this point. The Office of the Prime Minister Communications, and we recognize Minister Ndinamburger for the ministry's assistance with videography and photography at today's event. Specially invited guests for gracing us with your presence and your support for this initiative. Members of the media for your coverage and reporting of this event. Members of the National Public Viewing live on TTT, UDCOT, and the ministry's Facebook page, and listening in on I-95.5 and Talk City 91.1 FM. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again, as they say, in a short, for the formal opening of the facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary, Mr. McKellar. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in our program, the entourage, including ministers, speakers, and specially invited guests, will now walk around the front of the building, escorted and regaled by the rhythm section, the function crew.
Limited in making this building available. The convenience and efficiency of a one-stop shop.
This is TTT. Live for local.
The winning numbers in the National Lottery online draws for Tuesday, 30th April 2024 at 10:30 a.m. They were the number 27 Little Snake.